I heard a comment from another content creator, and I'm kind of starting to believe him. It's like they're just not talented enough to do it anymore. I think he used the word competent. They're not competent to do it. That's why I truly believe they're trying, but they're just not competent. This is their best effort. An end of an era. This is why we're no longer covering WoW. Let's check this out.
After so many years, the road has come to an end. Time to give up on World of Warcraft.
Although we've come to the end of the road.
Many of you may have seen floating around Twitter or on Reddit or on live streams, whatever it might be, is that we are stopping our coverage of World of Warcraft as of right now. This has not been an easy decision, as you can imagine. We have a team of people who work here now, putting stuff together for you guys to hopefully put a smile on your faces. That is all we aim to do. And in terms of WoW, we have to kind of stop right there. So I'm going to clarify a few things. Not everything is going away. I'll explain why shortly. Let's do the reasons first. Get that out of the way. So first reason, obviously, is the recent allegations. That was really the straw that broke the camel's back. It is the tipping point. To find out, after all we've been through with World of Warcraft since probably the beginning of BFA, that on top of that, this environment has existed within Blizzard to the point now where they're staging a walkout. I've just been checking an update.
Yeah, we were discussing this on stream with chat, and how it's just a build-up process. It's not. I think some people think that I don't know if it was anybody here, but I saw some other people, some other content creators, talk about how people are leaving just because of Shadowlands, or they're just leaving just because of the recent events that happened with the lawsuit. And it's a build up process, man. This stuff, people have been covering this stuff for 15, 14 years, and they've dealt with things, and then they've gotten over it. They've dealt with things, they've gotten over it. They've dealt with things, they've gotten over it. They've dealt with things, and then you get to a certain point where you're just like, I'm not over it. I'm just gonna leave.
Hating myself on this is that the staff are doing a walkout due to Blizzard's awful, reprehensible response to an abhorrent situation that has been plaguing Blizzard for a very long time in terms of its harassment of women. And then at that point, I no longer feel comfortable promoting and advertising the game, which is essentially what happens. That is the relationship I hold with Blizzard, with having a large audience, is that we produce content, we check out content that's in development, we get to see things a little bit earlier in order to get that out to you guys as a promotional tool. That's how Blizzard sees it, and in return, we get to make fun content about a game we absolutely adore. I no longer feel comfortable doing that at all. That's reason number one. It's hard to get past that for me. It really is. It's too hard. It's too big of a hill to climb. Reason number two is, at this point, I honestly have very little positive to say about World of Warcraft. It does feel like, for the last few years, Blizzard has really pushed to have players like myself leave. It does feel that way. We've talked about it a number of times. A great deal of the changes and directions that Blizzard have gone in, I've been very outspoken about. And BFA in particular, and this is relevant now, is one of the expansions where I essentially had to bitch and moan throughout the entire expansion, because systems like Warfronts, which are unlosable content, islands that had no variety, Azerite armor, which was just a plague on the game since it came in, with refusal to allow us to even trade it at all at one point. It didn't matter on item levels, you couldn't trade it whatsoever. You were locked into it because it was super special, or Blizzard believed it was super special. And that's the line that we draw, is that what Blizzard believes is not what I believe.
That's
for a
important.
long way.
Yeah.
A further example of just how near enough every feature of the game that has come in since BFA has been either half developed, undercooked, a missed opportunity is how I would describe it most accurately. Certainly when it comes to Shadowlands, Torghast is a missed opportunity, the Covenants are a missed opportunity. There is so much that could have been done with each of those features that just hasn't been done. They've let us down far too often. Shadowlands launched with the idea that we were going to put all the systems into the game at the start so we can just tweak and modify them and make them more fun as the game goes on, instead of having to constantly reinvent the wheel. They let us down with that, and immediately in the first patch with the addition of the Shards of Domination. Take a moment to really emphasize this, because I think the Shards of Domination sockets and the armor really exemplifies just how distant my point of view is with World of Warcraft and Blizzard's vision of World of Warcraft. I have heard reports in the last week or so, directly from some contacts, that Blizzard is confused as to why the players are disgruntled with Shards of Domination, because in the eyes of some people at Blizzard, they're basically tier sets.
Blizzard is confused why players are upset. I don't think I've ever heard a developer worded that way, that we're confused, because that sounds like a passive aggressive way of saying we're right, you're wrong, why don't you get it? Instead of we're trying to understand the player's viewpoint, we're confused? Huh.
Now let that sink in for a minute, because when I heard this first and then heard it multiple times from different people, I was honestly gobsmacked. This is before the entire revelation. I hear things a lot that I don't talk about on the channel, but to hear that like 2 weeks ago, something like that, I was really shocked that anybody at Blizzard would equate Shards of Domination with tier sets. How can you equate something that is not stylized specifically for your class? One of the most exciting things that people get about tier sets is seeing their new tier set. What's the new Rogue one? What's the new Paladin one? What's the new themed around my class that I love and enjoy, my main character? What is he going to get going into that new raid? A lot of them don't even care about the bonuses. They just want to see how cool they look. And is it got the Warlock themed going to be Plagued one? Is the Rogue one going to be stealthy in some way? How's it going to equate to daggers and all that kind of stuff? But Shards of Domination don't do that at all in any way. The bonuses that come with tier sets are spec-specific. No, they're not always enjoyable, but they usually offer some sort of gameplay variety to keep your class interesting throughout the entire expansion. It might be something as simple as Death Coils proc more often, so you get to throw a few extra ones in. Something that gives a little bit of flavor, a little bit of spice to your character.
So shards don't do this?
Gems that provide a percentage
or they just do it
damage
globally.
Increase are about the least creative thing in the universe for a video game. They're not interesting at all. I can't even tell if they're working without using third-party add-ons. How they've been equated to tier sets is beyond me. Now we look at the further problems, and I'm glad I'm recording this in the evening. Because what we've also seen with Shards of Domination, and we saw this on the PTR, we told Blizzard about it, they're not balanced. The Unholy one is way more powerful than the Frost one and the Blood one. So everybody wants to get the Unholy one. We could test this within minutes. Minutes of acquiring them on the PTR. This is the quickest, easiest check in the world.
When you watch people's behavior, right, and you can see that they're trying to keep themselves calm and composed, and then they hit that spark. They hit the thing that made them just want to punch something. And then their whole persona, they like start, if there was Dragon Ball Z, they would have an orange. His eyes are starting to glow. This dude has started to flex. He has this minutes. It took us minutes. Look at that face. That is, ooh, he is angry.
To figure this stuff out, Blizzard leaves it as it is. So when the game comes out and we point out all the problems with this, acquisition, not getting the ones you want, the randomness of it, and the fact that you decided to add like a 10% DPS increase for several classes, should they get lucky? No tier set in the game has ever been like, oh, you just do 10% more damage than everybody else in your team now because you managed to get your 2-set bonus. That's not how this works, but this is how Shards of Domination works. And not only that, they're really boring. A bit of leech, a bit of flat damage when I attack a mob for a few seconds. I can't tell if it's going on. It does nothing for my gameplay. They're really boring. So you made a massive damage increase. You made it really boring. And then, after weeks of players scrabbling to get these things, being disgruntled with them, being frustrated with them, being relieved when they finally get them, being even angrier when they still didn't get them, farming Raid Finder, normal, heroic, etc. to try and get the armor to put these things in. Because unlike tier sets, you made them twice as obnoxious to get because you needed the gems and the armor to put them in.
I'm beginning to understand.
Tonight, they've nerfed them into the ground. It's embarrassing.
There it is. Okay, I understand now. I could preach. Dude, I understand.
For you, Blizzard. And this is the reason that people are just angry and frustrated. You created an entirely frustrating, annoying system when you said you wouldn't.
You said you wouldn't.
Then you made it really boring.
Listen, we can nitpick all day about what he's talking about. We can defend Blizzard all we want. But when you say you aren't gonna do it and then you didn't do it, you do it anyway. Nah, man, you can't you can't keep doing that. And I've seen so many examples of Blizzard saying we're not going to do this, and then they do it anyway. And people are just like, oh, okay, fine. No, don't tell us you're not going to do it and then do it. That's messed up, man.
Then you made it super powerful, and then after all was said and done, you then crushed it into the ground.
God, she's so mad. He's angry.
Embarrassing.
He's mad.
Because everybody told you about this stuff before the patch even came out.
Gosh, it sounds like Odyssey.
It shows a lack of effort. It shows a lack of quality control. A lack of regard for players' time.
Oh, man.
It just comes across to us as players as you don't give a shit.
They don't.
You don't care.
They don't.
You just make us jump through hoops, and then you move the hoops, and you make the hoops smaller, and then you tell us the hoops are pointless. They don't earn you anything anyway.
Ouch.
And it happens time and time and time again. And it's always plagued by problems that players such as myself see within 2 to 3 minutes of checking the system out. Hey guys, this isn't going to work. It's got this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. These are glaringly obvious problems. You don't need to be a specialist in game design or a master video games critic to spot these things. And here we are with you doing it again.
Wow. That's sad, man.
I'm lost for words with the direction that this game constantly goes in. I don't recognize it anymore. I don't. And I'm so sad because the idea is I should grow out of the game and go on to do other things and be tempted by the new biggest thing. But that's not what's happened. You've just ran it into the frigging ground for players like me. And I say for players like me because I'm not speaking for everybody, but players like me are just endlessly frustrated and disgruntled with being treated like this. Because we enjoy your game and we constantly end up chasing the fucking feather at the end of the stick, round in a circle, and then you just tell us it was all for nothing anyway.
Wow.
And it's all because you didn't plan it out properly, you rushed it, you didn't take care and attention. I can tell you now.
It really does seem like Blizzard does that. Like they have all these good ideas, right? And I honestly think they do their best. I'm not going to say they don't do their best. I think they do their best to make sure that these systems are fun and that they're rewarding, and they try their best to do it. My issue is that when they don't work out, their recovery and their way of dealing with the player base after something fails, I think that's where they make the mistakes. I really do, because they either scrap a system or they do something like a nerf like this, or they just do something drastic that makes it even worse than it could have been. And I think that's where they're losing preach. They're losing a lot of people. It's just like they're trusting you to fix it, and then it seems like you just like pull the cord, and it's just like, well, we're not doing that. Time for the next thing. And it's like a cycle that, players are feeling abused. I really think that's what's going on. And I heard a comment from another content creator, and I'm kind of starting to believe him. It's like they're just not talented enough to do it anymore. Like Blizzard, they're not. I think he used the word competent. They're not competent to do it. That's why I truly believe they're trying, but they're just not competent. This is their best effort, but I guess their best wasn't good enough.
If I was sat in that room and this thing was suggested, I would have said, no! Why are we doing this? Who is this benefiting? Why is this fun? Why the hell would anybody be excited by this? Why are you giving it a crazy damage bonus? Didn't we say we weren't going to add more systems? Isn't there room in the conduit system for something like this? Can't we focus on making legendaries more interesting? Can't we focus on making conduits and soulbinds more interesting? Because they're really boring. And you keep making us grind renown for it. So, all through BFA, I spent my time trying to get these changes implemented, which we kind of saw at the end of Battle for Azeroth. At the very, very tail end of the expansion, they finally started to relent on these things. And probably with 9.3 or whatever, they'll relent on some of this. Perhaps they'll take conduit energy away. But I can't in good conscience even consider spending the next 6 months of my time, however long it takes for 9.2.
Yeah. It's not going to be 6 months.
Moan about
Spoilers, it's not going to be 6 months. It's going to be more like a year.
this game. Because it just comes across that you don't care anyway. When I see changes like this, it's like, well, you don't care, so why the fuck should I care?
There it is.
Right? If you can't tune Legendary...
I mean, I always talk about Elite Dangerous. I know a lot of people watching this video probably don't even follow Elite Dangerous, but this is a sentiment with that game as well. A lot of people say, you don't care, so I'm not going to care either. That was their exact words, right? I'm not going to invest hundreds of thousands of hours into this if the people creating it just don't care anymore. Why bother? I'm going to give my time to somebody else. And in gaming, time is the most valuable thing. This is what the developers want from you. They want your time. They don't want your money. They want your time. If they got your time, they'll get your money. That just comes with the territory. So when players say, I'm just not going to give you my time anymore, then the developers have lost.
Before a patch comes out, or domination shards, or the soulbinds, which are all completely out of whack. Why the fuck should I care? Why should I? And I don't anymore. It's run out of me. You've killed my passion for this.
Oof.
You've absolutely killed it.
I
was presented with two options.
That's hard. That's harsh.
Which is either I spend the next 6 months bitching and moaning, which is somebody who just wants to make videos.
Sounds like Mad Season, doesn't it?
Essentially, not for free, because we're supported
I can just keep making content and be mad.
And we hope you continue to do that. But my channel was demonetized, and the rally of support was entirely because we wanted to keep pushing because we loved the game and we wanted to make these videos. We wanted to talk. I want to talk, sit here and nerd out with you about World of Warcraft.
And I'll be honest, man. It's like that's why I stopped playing a lot of the games. Is that the only feeling I'm getting is negativity. Like I felt that way about Warframe. Felt that way about Marvel Heroes when I stopped. I felt that way about Minecraft when I stopped playing Minecraft. And even with Elite Dangerous, it's like the only thing coming out of me is negativity. So I'm going to stop because I don't play games to be negative. And that's a great point, man. That's deep.
Warcraft endlessly. I want to do that because usually we're talking about great, fun stuff. Little fun builds we can do. Classes that are more interesting than they seem to be. All that kind of stuff. And I'm passionate and care about doing those things. And all of that has been taken away. All of it. And it's been done lazily. It's done haphazardly. And believe me, to the devs who may watch this, I appreciate how hard 9.1 has been. I've seen all your tweets that you had to do entirely from home. I truly, truly appreciate how hard you had to do it.
I just think we weren't competent,
at the end of the day, I'm a customer.
Yep.
And when I'm served a half-cooked steak, I don't want to eat it still. I don't care. Like, it's not... I don't care.
They're not your friend. Okay, here's a problem. It's like people get so attached to games that they attribute that same attachment to the developers, and you really can't do that. You can sympathize with developers, you can like their personalities and stuff, but at the end of the day, they have to deliver you a product. It's a business. And when they don't, you have the right to complain. It's not being toxic to complain. It isn't. Now, you can be overly negative. You can be like, you don't provide constructive criticism and stuff like that. There's just some people who just grossly over negative. But at the end of the day, you are a customer. So we were talking about this on a reaction the other day. I think it was yesterday. And how people were asking Blizzard if Diablo 2 is going to be delayed because of all of this. And my response to that was that right there was disingenuous because common sense will tell you they're not going to know because it's too soon. So they're not going to know. And the fact that you're asking them now is you're just only thinking about yourself. So there's a limit. I think there's a limit to this. It's like, yeah, I'm a customer, but who's going to know if something's going to be delayed a day into some drama? It could be weeks before they know that. I mean, that's common sense. That's not really something that requires a technical degree. But when you're a preach and you've been dealing with this for 14, 15, who knows how many years, 40 years, 40 years, I think your patience has run out. And you have a license to say, I'm out because you screwed up.
Care is the wrong word. But I'm not overly, it's not my issue that it was hard to get the meat or the ovens broke or whatever it might be. And I still don't want to eat it. I understand that you worked hard on it. I really do. And I wish it wasn't this way. But it is this way. It's absolutely this way. And so for that reason, we can't do it. So I hope that I can go endlessly because it literally there's nearly everything in Shadowlands is just.
I can tell he's holding back.
It's half developed.
He can just keep going.
It's the bare bones of what it could potentially be, and it's just sad to see so much lost potential going along with it. There's no end to the amount of subjects. I think the Shards of Domination one is a prime example. So what are you going to see from us then? Well, there's a few things I still want to do because I care about them, and I think they celebrate the player. And I think that's the important distinction that we made in our team meeting where we decided this, because obviously it's extremely scary times. Because, you know, losing a lot of your audience, which is no doubt there are people who only care about World of Warcraft stuff. Fine.
Like, I want to emphasize this before he gets into it. This is a big deal for him. If all you do is cover WoW and you like, we're not going to do that anymore. That's like somebody who made pastries. It's like, we're not going to make pastries anymore, everybody. We're going to switch it over and we're going to make pizza. Or we're not gonna make pastries anymore. We're gonna manufacture shoestrings. What? What do you mean we're gonna manufacture shoestrings? Weren't we just making pastries? What, are they gonna buy the shoestrings? That's how it is from a content creator's perspective. When you're solely focused on one game and then you just have to stop, it's unknown territory. They have a payroll. They have a team. They have a business. They have a payroll. This ain't just some guy sitting in his basement recording videos. They got an entire team dedicated to this, and it affects that team's livelihood. So this is scary, dude.
If that's the only game you ever want to see videos on, okay. Drama time is going to stay because that's a celebration of the players and the silliness that goes on in being anonymous in video games. We even include other games in that already. So drama time is going to stay. There are two projects with World of Warcraft I would like to finish, which I also believe celebrate the player. One is the Legacy series, and the fact that I no longer, because what I've been doing for months is I don't stream World of Warcraft. I stream 5 days a week, and we don't stream WoW because it's very boring to watch. So we do variety. So that meant that for the World of Warcraft stuff, I was then finishing the stream and playing 6 or 7 hours of World of Warcraft afterwards in order to create the YouTube content. I'm not going to do that now.
Okay.
So I can have that time back.
That's good.
Focus on the Legacy series.
That's good.
I really want to finish When the Classes Were the Best series. We started that last week, and you guys absolutely adored it, and it was fantastic. So I want to continue doing that. So I want to finish that series because I think it's super fun. And that entire series and the Legacy series is focused on the players' behavior with these specs and classes, and that's what I find really fun. And plus, I love making them. It's as simple as that. I love making them, and they're not relevant to what's going on in the current day World of Warcraft. It's nothing to do with them in any way. So some of you can say, well, you're not walking the fine line or whatever, but I don't care. That's what I want to make. On top of that, luckily we've been producing or getting ready to launch a second channel. We always wanted this channel to be the World of Warcraft channel. Couldn't see a reason not to do that.
Oh man.
Is to have the main channel, or what we call the main channel, is the World of Warcraft channel, because there was no reason not to do that. And so we were preparing to create a second channel with the team, and they've been working on that in a while. That'll obviously be coming over here. We're going to make some mistakes. That's the way it goes with launching new styles of content. We are going to make some mistakes. So hopefully you'll.
But if it succeeds, it succeeds very well.
That's all I can ask for, really.
Second channels have been really successful for a lot of people.
And give us a chance if you're interested in those things. We will look at other MMOs. We are going to look at all sorts of video games. And basically, I'm going to make what I'm passionate about, because all the passion is gone for me from World of Warcraft. Am I quitting the game? Probably very soon, actually. The only commitment I had was to my team. I put together a raid team to clear Sylvanas Heroic with old mythic raiders from varieties of guilds. Now, I will say I have done that. We did that this evening, just before I recorded this. Yet they want to do another kill next week for some guys who couldn't be there tonight, so I'm going to do that. But in terms of day-to-day play, absolutely not. Not doing that. It won't be on stream or anything like that. I'll finish that and then probably stop. I did say this morning, and I'm going to.
I get the sense he's definitely going to come back for the next expansion. Like, this is not a breakup. This is like that awkward conversation you have with your ex, like, maybe we should see other people. Yeah, maybe we should. And then you just stop talking for a week, and the next thing you know, you're back together. You know, it's like, it's not a real breakup. It's like, this is, I'm getting a sense he's not gonna leave for, yeah, he's coming back. I think.
Emotional take on this down below, which you can look into if you want to.
I think he's going to come back.
It'll be on our highlights channel, which is, if the entire Blizzard culture, I never say never, so if the entire Blizzard culture comes across like they've done something positive and good, like they managed to fix this atrocious, awful internal situation they've got, and they managed to get their heads out of their asses in terms of what direction this game should go in, and more respect for the players, because it feels like there's no respect for the players.
That's not going to happen.
It almost feels like Blizzard resents the players.
Spoilers.
In a lot of ways. If that changes, I'll come and have a look.
No, that's not going to happen. That's like,
check it out.
That's like saying if a moon man were to come down to the planet and tell us that we can eat grapes on Thursday, then I'll get this job. No. That's not going to happen. Wishful thinking, but it's not going to happen.
It's not going to be...
But I still think he's going to come back. I think he's going to at least come back and try an expansion. Even like Zepla and a bunch of other people say they come back and they try expansions for a couple days and then they leave again. And I think that's what he'll do. He'll come back for a couple days at the most and then he's out again.
WoW coverage, but maybe. I'm never going to say never, but for the now, I can't see it. Certainly won't be covering things like upcoming 9.2 changes or anything like that. That's stuff that you're probably used to from my channel. So I apologize for anybody who's like saddened that that's gone. But I hope you understand why I've made this decision. And I've had a lot of contact with people who are like, you need to stay to support the innocent people. And I totally get that. There are thousands of innocent people who do not deserve to have people like me bashing on the game. And have worked really, really hard and will be saddened that I'm bashing the game and be upset at what I'm saying. But
no. Any developer worth their salt should take criticism. If they can't take criticism, they shouldn't be in this. They shouldn't be in the marketplace. They shouldn't be in this field. You have to learn how to take criticism as a software developer, or otherwise, why bother? So bash away, but be constructive with it. You need to give constructive criticism. And what I know about Preach, he gives constructive criticism. He praises things that are good and bashes things that are bad. And he gives alternative solutions and compromises that we could possibly do to fix things. You should not feel bad for doing that.
Ultimately, I have to measure it by my own moral compass. And I feel like I just can't justify World of Warcraft and support it anymore. From my point of view, I have been supporting a game that has been actively working against me and players like me for like 2.5 years at this point, really. That's what it feels like, just actively doing things to disrupt and frustrate players like myself.
And that's when you leave. That is when you leave. I am 120% behind you on this, Preach. Developers, we realistically know developers can't cater to every type of player. They just can't. They can try. And that's why every player can't play their game. Because if you feel like a developer is doing something that is against your play style over and over again, there is absolutely nothing wrong with leaving and stepping away. There is nothing wrong with it. And I mean, you're miserable at this point. It's like they're making you do something you don't want to do. Like if you hate to do a certain thing a certain way in the game and the developer keeps nurturing that, then leave. For real, guys. And I don't know if WoW players know this in general, but there's a lot of other games out there. There are. And I think over the last 10 years or so, the mentality in MMORPGs is that you have to play World of Warcraft. And if you don't, you're some kind of anomaly or some kind of outlier. There are plenty of other great games out there. Not all of them are MMOs, but there's a lot of great games out there. Don't be afraid to leave. Just don't be afraid. We have too many games. That's one of the things we have in our community. So there's just too many games. You don't have to put up with this crap. You just, you know, there's so many other good games out there. You don't have to put up with it. And I feel like a lot of players, WoW players, I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this, but they put up with nonsense because I feel like they think there's nothing else out there. And if they can't play WoW, they can't play anything else. Or maybe it's nostalgia holding them back, or I don't know what it is. But just go play something else for a while, man. Look at Asmon. Asmon is having a ball playing New World and Final Fantasy 14 and all this other stuff he's playing. It's probably the best thing for him. Go play something else, for real. And do a lot of it. You know, don't just play an hour, 2, 3 here. You know, get involved. Get into it. You might just like it.
And I know other players have felt the same way. Not everybody will. But that's where I'm at. Anyway, considering it's been so many years, I think we had a good time, didn't we? I think so. I think we had a really good time. I'm going to miss it because, you know, for a long time, up until about 2 years ago, this job that I made into a job from just enjoying this game was so easy. So fun every single day. Anyway, it's not been that way for a long time now.
Time to move on, man.
But I think we had fun along the way. We had some memorable moments. Chris has whipped together, very short notice, a little...
Listen, I think Preach has done a great job of earning mindshare players, and people will follow him no matter what he does. And if he finds another game he's passionate about, he will get other people to play it. That's the beauty of this profession, is if you earn the mindshare of your audience and they trust your opinion and they see you having fun with something and you're passionate with a game, they'll follow you to it and they'll be wanting to keep up with the news. And you might even have greater numbers than you have with World of Warcraft. So I think he's in a good position. I think he's one of the people that don't have a lot to worry about in that regard, but it is it's a leap of faith. You know, you've been in your comfort zone for so long and you have to step out of it. So if you're earning money and you know you're putting food on the table doing this, it's a leap of faith that you have to risk that. So I can understand the scariness of it, but I can tell you from the outside looking in, I don't think he's going to have an issue if he takes it seriously and if he doesn't keep, you know, turning around looking at WoW every 5 seconds. You know, if he can just move on, people will respect that.
Of things, which is a bit emotional for me. I haven't even watched it all the way through, but on to bigger and better things, hopefully, right? So if you're looking for any more information, preachgaming.com, we'll have stuff there, and obviously the live stream if you want to ask me questions or anything like that. But that is the situation, guys. If you're looking for day-to-day World of Warcraft content, it will no longer be here. Okay? I love you all, you know. You guys gave me a great opportunity. I got to travel the world because of World of Warcraft and Blizzard. I was treated very well by them eventually. At some point. Recently, actually. I am at a loss as to how this happened.
Oh no, this is where I cry!
Ballers! What's going on? And welcome to Preach, the Daily Preach. Blizzard used to make bosses that had just really stupid mechanics. They made things that were just fun. You guys know I love a good story. A good story can be anything, but especially a good myth.
Thirdly, take opportunity.
Remember,
You know it's old if it's 360p, chat.
40-man raiding? I do. It fucking sucked! It's too hard. But the truth of the matter is... Ugh.
Flashbang.
Move, mate. Move.
In the last video, you said we didn't transmog enough. Well, here you go. You should follow along with me, see if anything relates to you, or maybe different points of view.
Hey, come on, big guy. Come on, let's go get right.
Looks like he needs help getting dressed in the morning. It's Houston, you've got the higher gear score, let's go.
Give me your pub. Where do you live? Where the fuck do you live? Where do you fucking live? Don't touch these. These are mine. Thought you'd never ask me. Inner fire! Oh, we're not gonna bring the shit races, are we?
Whoa!
Whoa, that's talent. That was 4 balls right to the left eye.
I'm gonna bring the shit, Princess Howie.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 to the left eye.
Whoa! The spirits! He tucks me in every night. Because Forum Man is here to solve your problems. Fuck you, man. You trying to fuck me on the stream? You trying to make me look like a fucking dickhead? Woo!
Wow.
Fucking awesome!
Now we've got lag.
Fucking kill you, Chris! I swear to God! That's the bit. Once per week. So far away! It's on the other side of the room, bro! It does feel like in the Shadowlands Blizzard went out of the way to disrupt you guys. No, Chris! No! Give me the mouse!
Mana pearls from Nashtatar as an inspiration.
Gosh, man, this is sad. All these people leaving. Dude. Oh, man. Oh, preach. We're going to miss you, man. I didn't even watch him that much. He came on my radar when he was reacting to Final Fantasy raids. That's when I first saw his stuff. And then I kind of started watching him a little bit after that. I had no idea he's out in the bathtub on a rocking horse. But yeah, sad to see him go, man. Sad to see Preach go, and I hope he does better in whatever he does, man. I hope he's successful. Excuse me, I hope he's successful. And I hope he finds his way. And I really think it's a great decision that he's leaving. I think it's a really good decision mentally, for his mental health, because this stuff takes its toll on you when you have to constantly try to you have to basically squeeze positivity out of a rock. That's an analogy I like to use. You have a rock, you have to squeeze positivity out of it because it's just nothing but negative coming out of it. It drains you. It really drains you. And when you're not honest with yourself and honest with your content, it eats away at you. So I'm glad that he's finally decided to take this step. I think it's going to be a good thing for him. Sad to see him go, though. A lot of WoW content creators are kind of taking the same approach, but like I said, I think they're not gone for good. I don't think anybody can quit WoW cold turkey. But I think from an overall perspective, I think he really is just done. I think this is a turning point for him.